Yes, guys, welcome to another Football Saddos upload. And today we are going to talk with a list of 20 hated Premier League players of each club. Everyone has got their say on it. Everyone hates at least one player. We're going to be going through the list. We are going to start with, well, the team that shall not be named.
Scum.
Gooners FC, that's me. I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna go for one that might not seem so obvious to everyone, but Danny Ceballos. Arsenal fans constantly trying to say he's better than like Lo Celso and Kovacic and all these other midfielders. They also try and say that he rejected Spurs to go to Arsenal. We never wanted him. He's just a bit crap. But yeah, he's a mug. I don't like him. Yeah, Danny Ceballos for me.
Very well said, Dan, with your chest held high. Right, next.
Fair enough.
Is Aston Villa. Idan.
Next. I'm going to go with Tyrone Mings. I know there have been loads of loads of stories of him like stamping on people, and I don't.
Ibra, he stamped on Ibra.
Ibra. There was I think when he was in the Championship, also he stamped on someone's face. I can't remember the player. To be honest, it's the only really kind of Aston Villa player that has
just
that
a quick
nastiness
question
that I know about.
Just a quick question. What happened first? Was it the elbow to the face or the stamp on the face with the whole Ibra thing?
It was the stamp on the face and then an elbow, and then Ibra got him back.
Yeah, that's very Zlatan-like behaviour. We are moving on to Brighton and Hove Albion, and that's my cue. I'm going to go for an obvious, but I don't really hate him that much. It's kind of Neil Maupay, if I have to speak as a neutral football fan. No, but I don't actually hate him, though.
As a Spurs fan, how can you say that? He's brought me so much joy. He sent Guendouzi all the way to the Bundesliga.
That is true. But the problem is, I don't hate anyone in Brighton, so I had to pick someone.
Yeah, no, good shout.
Moving
Burnley.
on to
Bloody Burnley.
You lot know that I don't like Burnley. I think they're boring. I don't think they add anything to the Premier League. I don't think they should be in the Premier League. I don't care what their budget is. I think their stadium's a bit crap. I think the only thing good about them is the manager. I don't like the entire team except for Dwight McNeil. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to go for Eric Peters. Only because I don't hate him as a guy. I think he looks lovely. Like, he's not a bad looking guy. I mean,
he looks proper lovely. He does.
But he looks lovely. Like, the fact that he's so, as a player, I just think he's boring. I think he typifies just how boring they are. To go to stay in the Premier League and then go back to Stoke, who just got relegated, to get Eric Peters when he doesn't add anything, says everything about Burnley. So, live by the sword, die by it, but I'm picking him.
It's kind of like as boring as like a ham sandwich on an EasyJet flight.
Ham sandwich?
So boring. I don't know.
We're talking the plain ham sandwich.
Yeah,
plain ham. No sauce.
You're talking just plain bread and butter, mate.
No seasoning. Next, we have got Chelsea, and that's my cue. Now, I'm going to be just sitting down here looking at Idan.
Don't go for the obvious
He might think
one.
he looks calm and collective, but I know he's shaking deep down with what I'm about to belittle about that horrible club. But you're going to be surprised. I'm actually not going to go for the player you're thinking of. I am going to go for stupid little cheat, Rudiger. Yes, I said it. Cheat. One tiny little elbow.
Well said.
One little elbow. Cheat.
One little
You're on my
elbow.
list now, Rudiger. Rudiger, you are my number one hated Chelsea player. Next, we have got Crystal Palace. Dan, is it a player that I think you're going to mention?
Oh, I don't know, because there's a few options actually for this one. I had to think long and hard, but I've gone for one which is more of a recent development than anything else. But Guaita. Oh my God. No, because
Guaita.
That game earlier this season, it was only a 1-1 draw. It feels like a silly thing to hate him over. But that bloody guy turned into prime Neuer. Makes it even more annoying. It's the goal we scored was such awful goalkeeping from him. And it's like he just bucks up and went, I'm not doing any of that again. And we just couldn't score. Yeah. Just amazing shots after amazing shots. And the bloody Eric Dyer almost scored the winner in like the 90th minute with a free kick that was like pinpoint perfect. And he saved it. Of course he did. I hate him. It just annoyed me.
We're going to move on now to the blue side of Merseyside. That's Everton.
I think everyone will agree with this. I'm going to go with Richarlison, but he's just kind of like that dirty player that will just like do anything to get on the wrong side of the other team, and that's why I've gone for Richarlison.
I can see why you've done that, but like I said earlier with Morpay, every fan base would love to have a player like that in their team, and you can't hate too much on it unless he's done something.
I'm really interested, Dev. What would you go for this then? You looked very shocked.
No, I don't have another choice. I like Everton and I like Richarlison. No, hang on. No. I'll agree with Idan for something he did do on Twitter. Apparently, there was a graphic that someone made of him, and he took the person's watermark off the graphic and claimed it as his own. Yeah. No,
as a designer, Dev, I know that probably hit somewhere hard, you know.
Awful.
Okay, we are now moving on to another West London side who have taken a lot of us by surprise, to be fair, with some of the results they've been pulling off.
Scotty Parker, come to Spurs, mate. I love you.
Dev, what's your thoughts? Who's the hated player out of that very likeable side?
Yeah, I was going to say very, very likable. I think if they hadn't been playing the kind of football Parker's making them play, I'd probably hate a few more of them for the same reasons that I don't like Burnley. But there's one player that stands out of all of them as just being a nasty little piece of work, and it's Alexander Mitrovic.
Yeah.
Don't like him. Not just because of the player he is or how he plays, how dirty he is, but everyone seems to think he's a god. He ain't. He's not a great player. He played at Newcastle.
He's just the Mayfair Morpie, to be honest.
He had one good season at Newcastle in the Championship, and he's been reveled like some god. Flopped it at Newcastle in the Premier League, flopped it at Fulham, and everyone still thinks he's worth the money. He's not overrated, overpaid, and just move on.
Right. Next, the White Roses of the Old English War, the pride of Yorkshire. That's Leeds United. Dan.
I feel like I've been a little bit shafted because I can't pick many players I don't like there. I think I'm going to go for Calvin Phillips because he's bloody annoying on the pitch. I feel like anytime we've been quite lucky, he didn't play against us. But anytime I've seen Leeds be at all good, it's all from him running that midfield and just taking people out or constantly winning the ball back. I just feel like he must be so annoying to play against. So I'm going to go for Calvin Phillips.
I would say that the only annoying thing about him is that how he still gets a place in the England squads with Gareth Southgate as our manager. Maybe I'm being harsh.
He loves him.
Right, next, a club that plays very attacking football, very sneaky as well, almost as sneaky as a fox, I would say. That's Leicester City, and that's me. You know what? I'm going to say the same thing I said with the offsiders vid. I'm going to say James Maddison, not because I don't think he's not a good player, because I do think he's a great player. His face is just like, you know, when he smiles, especially when he scores against us, I just want to slap him.
So he also he chatted some stuff about Gareth Bale.
That too. Add that onto the list. Moving on, we have got the red side of Merseyside. Right, well, the worst defending champions. It's Liverpool and Idan. Let's see who you've got to say.
Let's dive into it. Mohamed Salah, move on.
Yes, it's the blade wherever he does. He goes like, ah!
I think one of the biggest rages I've encountered in football was that Champions League final when he scored that penalty and started celebrating in front of us. Honestly, I think he was lucky that some Spurs fans were sitting higher up because the guy behind me was literally climbing down, ready
scored
to go
that
for
much of like a shithouse penalty that like I'm not going to get into it, but we can all agree it's not a penalty. And then just celebrate like that. He's awful. I hate him.
I know you're still hurt, and therapy sessions are available.
Right, we're going to be moving on. Next is a Manchester side. It's described as sort of once in a blue moon. That is, of course, Manchester City and Dev.
Manchester City. I hate to say this, but they're bloody good, aren't they? They're a good football team. They play good football. I'm just going to go for the one that we were so closely linked with that he ended up going there and he's come back to ruin us. And it's Ilkay Gundogan. He's a really good player and he's a likable guy, apparently. He's good on the ball. He's a devout family man and all. I've seen his Twitter. But it's just like, why didn't you come to us, mate? I know we're shit.
Him.
But why didn't you? You know, we would have been nice. Would have given you a house, Salford, give you a nice home, given you like a good number, any number you wanted, but you didn't. So I'm being petty, but I'm going to go Gundogan.
Next, it's another Manchester club. Dev,
I wonder.
Just try and calm yourself down a bit. Yeah, just try and calm down. If you have to, leave the room if you can't bear the slander, because it's Man United and this is Dan's cue. Dan, who is your hated player and why?
I don't think this will come as a shock to anyone. Yeah, it's an obvious call, but I feel like I've got to say it. It's Bruno. Of course it's Bruno. I hate him. He's a rat. And like I could say all I want about how much I hate him as a Spurs fan, as a rival fan, whatever, with all the dives, with all the pens, with all the cockiness, with all the like stealing assists of his teammates and so on because he's so greedy. But the thing that makes it even worse, and I've said this in the video before, is he's even a dick to his teammates. He's even a dick to his teammates. which makes it even worse.
I'm actually going to let Dev have a say on this. I'm going to let you have a say.
Sam. I appreciate that. This is some bullshit because you're just annoyed that he didn't come to you. He was so linked to Tottenham. He comes to Manchester United. Then he comes to Manchester United. He's transformed the club. Yes, he's moody. Yes, he's that. Yes, he's this. He's our best freaking informed player, and you just hate him because he's good. Move on.
I hate him because he's a dead end.
Okay, you had your say. Dan, you can turn your chair around now. We're moving even further up north to where the Geordies love to play their football. It's Newcastle United, and that's also me, right? Newcastle. You know what? I'm going to go for something different. I'm going to say a player who actually really annoys me, and that's Joe Shelby. All right, such a dirty player. Awful, horrible, nasty piece of work. Don't get me wrong. I have rated him before. There was even a point where I wanted him at Tottenham. That was, I think, under the first season of Pochettino, but then our standards got a bit higher. But probably right now we could do with him. No. Right, next is Sheffield United. Idan, do you have a player that you hate?
Well, you know what? I was thinking about this one. I was thinking, you know what? There might not actually be anyone that I hate, but I found out that there is, and that's David Mcgoldrick. Because whenever we play him, he turns into prime R9. I think he's got like 4 Premier League goals, and 3 of them are against us. Something ridiculous like that.
Actually, there is a club that is next on our list: Southampton and Dev.
I think, to be fair, I don't actually have anyone at Southampton that I truly dislike. I just think someone is in that squad who's kind of just stealing a living, and that's Bednarek. Like, whenever I see Jan Bednarek play, I just think he is being bailed out by Carl Walker-Peters, by Jan Valery, or by Vestergaard every single time. His positioning is so poor. And half the time that I've seen them play and you get one of those VAR offside calls, it's always his freaking leg that's trailing on the attacker. So I'm just thinking, if I was a Southampton fan, who would piss me off the most? And it'd be Bednarek. Everyone else I kind of like, so I got to go with him.
This is the bit now. It's Tottenham Hotspur and Idan Levy. All right, then. Load your guns up.
Go on,
Idan.
Sergio Reguilon, move on. When he puts that post, it's like, when you leave Stamford Bridge and you're still top of the table. I mean, where are you now, mate?
Surely it's just a dose of your own medicine, mate, because that's what you get for chanting about us every week. And don't start saying, we haven't done it for a while. Well done. Lockdown. Have a medal. Next is West Brom, and that's my cue. I am going to say Ivanovic, ex-Chelsea. Go F yourself. Bye. Move on.
No,
it's not. Which is sadly slightly worth more talking about. That is West Ham United. And Dan, who is your player that you hate?
There's a number of options, aren't there? Like, I could go for Antonio. He always turns up against us. I go for like Fabianski or like Cresswell. But I'm going to go for, it might seem relatively obvious, but Mark Noble. He's never been good. He's never been good, yet against us, he always seems to,
When I think of Mark Noble, I think of Kevin Nolan. It's just like that type of player.
He's fair enough.
Do you know what I mean?
So West Ham, but so crap. They rate him so much just because he scores a few penalties. I don't get it.
Well, tell us how you really feel, bloody hell.
Last but not least, it's Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah, this is going to hurt me a little. Don't know if you know this, lads, but my parents are actually from Wolves. My mum, shout out Mumsy, love a bit of Wolves, a bit of what is it, gold and black, love that shit. I'm going to go for Daniel Podence.
Okay.
Oh.
The reason being is because he intimidates me a little bit. He's a little bit scary with the ball trickery at his feet and that. I remember he came on against us. He comes on, does all the flicks, and he makes us look a bit scared. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka doesn't want to go in. I don't like it, Daniel. Keep it simple for us. Let us do what we need to do.
Please,
Daniel,
calm down.
Enough. Listen, if this video is going to be anything, just let me, Daniel, it's me and you here. Stop it.
Well, that's our full 20 listed players that we do not like. Let us know in the comments below if you agree with that or disagree. Maybe add in a player that we should have mentioned. But that's it all for today. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell.
Don't forget to hit the bell.